This storm, deadly weather pummels the Northeast. Giant waves and flooding, more than 1 million without power. Airports limping back to life. Crisis in Syria, a ceasefire ignored. More than 100 civilians killed just this week by relentless bombings with no end in sight. Deadly dorm shooting, a suspect in custody suspected of killing his own parents. Now police are piecing together what happened in the hours before the violence. Not backing down. President Trump deflecting threats from overseas, promising steel jobs with his tariff announcement. But will the surprise move end up costing jobs?
In Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on.
And 50 years since a performance cemented itself in music history, Johnny Cash's concert inside Folsom State Prison. How inmates there have kept the beat going.
This is NBC Nightly News with Jose Diaz-Balart.
Good evening. Tonight, millions of Americans are suffering the after effects of a monster storm. At this hour, at least 8 deaths related to the nor'easter have been reported. Flooding rains, raging winds, and powerful waves wrecked communities, the effects stretching from the Carolinas to Maine. Right now, 1.3 million households are still without power. Thousands of flights canceled and delayed, roads and bridges closed, and the nation's busiest rail corridor shut down. Our Kristen Dahlgren weathered the storm and brings us details.
In Massachusetts, a state of emergency tonight, seeing no relief from the vicious nor'easter. Residents along the coast battling wind and water.
This is the worst I think I've ever seen it. You can't get in, you can't get out.
Parts of Quincy still totally cut off, the National Guard carrying people to safety. At 4 months pregnant, Nicole Doyle is relieved to get her kids and dog out.
It's extremely cold in our house and we have no way to heat it. And it was getting to where we're shivering and they were getting freaked out.
Cold is the problem for so many now. Along the East Coast, 1.3 million are still without lights and heat.
How cold is it inside there?
Very cold.
Like 85-year-old Marilyn Taylor, trapped in her home, her daughter didn't know how to get her out.
When I got here, she was just freezing and hungry. She hadn't eaten anything and she couldn't light the stove.
So she hitched a ride with us to a shelter.
I tried to stick it out, but I was done.
Others walked along high ground to get gas for generators as the storm surge pushed in for a third time.
So we're approaching another high tide here, and as you can see, the water coming back over this seawall and once again spilling into the streets here. We've actually got to get going or we're going to get stuck out here as well.
At least 8 deaths are now blamed on the storm, largely due to trees crushing homes and cars. The dangerous wind ripping through houses like this one outside Philadelphia, where thankfully no one was injured. In New Jersey, a woman was rescued today by paramedics after a tree fell on her while she was walking her dog. Down power lines in Connecticut, causing even more outages. And on the Yale campus, a garage partially collapsed due to wind. While back in Quincy, a community struggles to recover.
Everybody's been really helpful, and this is a great community here.
But as you can see, it is still flooded here tonight. We actually did get stuck out here. We've been waiting for most of the day for the tide to go down enough so that we could safely drive out of here because, Jose, that is what happens if you don't wait.
And Kristen, you know, a flight that normally takes me 3 hours to get here took more than 12. This storm has had a major impact on travel, and not just for the Northeast.
Yeah, it really has, and it's not just people in this area that are bearing the brunt. Flight cancellations today, 622. There were more than 2,300 delays, and that continues to trickle through the system. Meantime, Amtrak is finally getting back up and running, and they say they do expect the system to be operating as normal tomorrow. But this is a storm that nobody here is going to forget anytime soon.
Kristen Dahlgren, thank you very much. Wild weather on the West Coast as well after massive snows in the Sierras. A dramatic rescue in Northern California where an avalanche buried a man at a ski resort. People nearby rushed to save him, some using shovels, others their bare hands to dig away at the snow. In total, the avalanche injured 5 people. All of them are expected to be okay. Tonight, new details about the shooting inside a college dorm in Michigan. The suspect is in custody. He is 19 years old, accused of killing his parents on the day before spring break. Today, police revealed the gun used belonged to the suspect's father, a part-time police officer. NBC's Kevin Tibbles has the latest from Central Michigan University.
The intense day-long manhunt for a suspected killer on the campus of Central Michigan University came to an end overnight when heavily armed police took James Eric Davis Jr. into custody.
The danger that our community has experienced over the last 24 hours or so is now over.
He was arrested after being spotted along train tracks near campus. More than 100 officers had been searching for the 19-year-old student since Friday morning, when shots rang out in a college dorm. Dead are his parents, Father James Davis Sr. and Mother Diva. Davis Sr. was a police officer in suburban Chicago and an Iraq War veteran. His mother sold real estate. Police say they have video of the suspect with a gun they say he got from his parents' car.
What we know for sure is that the gun was registered to his father, and that we saw that for sure he came from the parking lot into our residence hall.
The shooting happened the Friday before spring break, prompting an hours-long lockdown on campus. Families picking up anxious students were told to wait at a nearby hotel.
When she told me about it, my blood ran cold.
Police had taken Davis Jr. to a hospital the night before. They say he came to them not making sense for what they suspected were drug-related issues. Tonight, James Davis Jr., who authorities say appeared to be hypothermic and incoherent, is in custody at a Michigan hospital. He is charged with 2 counts of homicide and a weapons felony. Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Chicago.
And now to swift reaction to President Trump's tariff announcement. The message from overseas is clear. European nations are not going to quietly accept it. That's raising questions about the unintended consequences of the move, including the risk of losing jobs here at home. NBC's David Gura has the latest.
A moment of economic shock and awe.
We'll be imposing tariffs on steel imports and tariffs on aluminum imports.
President Trump stunning the world with that announcement, surprising even some of his closest advisors.
25% for steel. It'll be 10% for aluminum.
Sparking an immediate reaction from investors and U.S. allies. Europe threatening tariffs on iconic American products like bourbon and blue jeans.
They retaliate against what they determined to be politically sensitive sectors in the United States.
At stake, not just what you'll pay, but potentially hundreds of thousands of American jobs.
What could the effects be of a policy like this on the labor picture in this country?
On balance, it will be negative.
One example, Boeing, the biggest manufacturing exporter in the U.S., could see overseas orders for planes go to Europe's Airbus and Canada's Bombardier.
It puts the workers who work for Boeing, it puts at risk their jobs.
But so far, the president is talking mostly about workers in the steel and aluminum industry.
There are 385,000 workers in the steel making industry. There's 4 million workers in the industries that use steel who are now going to have more expensive steel, potentially losing business to foreign imports that don't have to pay those tariffs.
It's the consequences for American jobs that have many concerned about a looming trade war.
Well, President Trump says he plans to implement the policy this week, and there's been a stark divide in his administration over this issue, and many Republicans who are against those tariffs continue to hope this president may yet change his mind. Jose?
David Gura, thank you very much. Speaking of those tariff plans, President Trump doubled down today on that plan, taking to Twitter to make his case. NBC's Jeff Bennett is live at the White House with that. Jeff.
Good evening, Jose. It's clear President Trump is aware of the pushback from U.S. trading partners, judging from his Twitter feed. In one, the president saying the United States has an $800 billion yearly trade deficit because of our very stupid trade deals and policies. Our jobs and wealth are being given to other countries that have taken advantage of us for years. They laugh at what fools our leaders have been. No more. Now, language like that is little comfort to those in the president's own administration and Republican leaders on Capitol Hill who, we're told, are privately urging the president to reconsider, given the potential blow to the economy. Now, I asked the president earlier this evening if he's concerned about launching a trade war. He didn't respond, but people close to Mr. Trump tell us he thinks the announcement is a political winner, and he gets to make good on a key campaign promise, Jose.
And Jeff, President Trump racked up a bunch of miles on Air Force One these last couple of days, right?
Yeah, that's right. Friday, he was off to North Carolina for the funeral for the Reverend Billy Graham, and then down to Florida, where today he headlined a re-election campaign fundraiser at his Mar-a-Lago estate. He's now back here at the White House in Washington to attend an annual Gridiron Club dinner. Every president going back to the 1800s has attended the event, which is hosted by one of the country's oldest journalism clubs. Last year, the president chose not to go, but tonight he'll be in white tie, hosted by a group he loves to hate, the press. Jose.
Jeff Bennett, thank you very much. Tomorrow on Meet the Press, Chuck Todd will have a roundup of the president's event tonight, as well as a recap of what's been another chaotic week in Washington. The North Korean regime tonight saying they are willing to hold talks with the United States, but on their own terms. A spokesperson for the regime says it will not commit to ending its nuclear and missile programs as the Trump administration has demanded. North Korea, meanwhile, is also warning the U.S. against holding military drills next month with South Korea, saying they would harm the thawing relations between those two countries. 1 week ago, the UN Security Council voted in favor of a ceasefire in Syria, yet the violence rages on. Tonight, we are seeing new and heartbreaking images of the toll of war. Civilians plucked from the rubble of buildings leveled by bombings. NBC's Ali Arouzi has the latest on the crisis that continues to unfold there.
The ceasefire's first week has been devastating. Residents of East Ghouta see constant bombing by the Syrian regime. Activists say more than 100 civilians, almost half of them women and children, have been killed since diplomats in New York signed a deal to stop the shelling. Today, those living there are begging for relief.
This is the sort of situation they're facing: destruction, death surrounding them, and a besiegement. People are running out of food, clean water, medicine.
NBC News has been following sisters Noor and Ala, who live in an underground shelter, briefly coming above ground yesterday with other children to ask the world to stand with them, tweeting, "I am still alive." Along with the bombs, the Syrian government's planes dump leaflets on eastern Ghouta telling its residents to leave. The UN ceasefire was supposed to open a civilian corridor to allow that to happen, and humanitarian supplies like these idle ambulances to come in. The Assad regime ignoring the international mandate, even escalating the attacks. With fresh reports of a chlorine attack, the international community stands in condemnation, while the catastrophic humanitarian situation continues to deteriorate with no end in sight. On Friday, at an emergency meeting of the UN Human Rights Council, officials said the attacks in eastern Ghouta probably amount to war crimes. Ali Arouzi, NBC News.
Monday, organizers of the Las Vegas Victims Fund will begin distributing more than $31 million. The fund began collecting donations after last October's mass shooting that killed 58 people. Families of those victims will receive $275,000. Hundreds of other survivors are also eligible to receive some of the money. Tonight, a very real health crisis facing immigrant communities, one you may not have heard much about. It's a difficult thing to quantify, the toll that living with fear can have on a person's well-being. A new study finds that in many Latino households, the impact is profound. NBC's Maya Rodriguez explains.
For dreamers like Jaciel Lopez, his immigration status clouds his everyday life.
We know that we could be detained and deported, so it's stressful, and it's really something that our community is always in fear of that.
He's not alone. A new report in the Journal of Adolescent Health says immigration policy changes are affecting not just Latinos who are undocumented in the U.S., but those with legal status too. Damaris Encarnacion was born in Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July.
We are like families, that we are closely connected. So when one is affected, all of us are affected.
The study looked at more than 200 Latino parents in the suburbs of a major East Coast city, 2/3 living in the U.S. legally. What they found? 65% often worried or are very worried about family members getting separated, and nearly 40% avoided getting medical help or social services because of immigration fears. Researchers also found that those Hispanic parents experienced a 300% increase in psychological distress, including depression and anxiety.
The fact that we found such strong and statistically significant findings impacting parents' mental health in negative ways across diverse residency statuses was very surprising.
But not to Damaris, who sees the impacts immigration policies are having on people she knows.
The crisis is so severe that often we feel like we can't do enough for them. So it affects all of us,
including her son Caleb.